good day. This is Lowland Cycling with another review of the mountain bike mass series. This is the last race of the series, Escape Granogue Reverse. And we have Geoff Smith with us and a special guest. Welcome, Geoff, and if you can introduce our guest.
Yeah. So we have my teammate, Ryan Stenke, who's in front of me right here in the video, and his girlfriend, Pam, who was handing out all the bottles and all the nutrition to us. Welcome, Ryan.
Yep. Thank you. Yeah, glad to be here. And kind of looking forward to doing one of these all year long since I've listened to a few of the others. Pretty cool. Thanks.
Yeah. And here's Stuart. So Stuart signed up kind of last minute also. And I said I would ride with him. So he's like, I'm going to ride easy. So you'll see how that goes.
Because both of you already locked in your wins for the series, right? Both the Open Endurance and you're the 45 plus, Geoff.
Yep.
Yes.
So it was pretty cool because Geoff, with this race, had a perfect 1,500 points. So he won every single race. Well, 5 straight races to get a perfect 1,500 points. But yeah, I had the overall locked up before Big Elk. So I didn't need to do this race, but I was definitely looking forward to getting a good training effort in here. I was kind of making up for some lost time on the bike the last couple of weeks. So I remember this being exceptionally hard. Like,
yeah.
For some reason, it just felt harder than some of the others. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like last time I remember chasing Jake Sittler up this climb, and I was using him to kind of gauge my effort and try to get away. But out here leading just seemed a little extra hard to actually push the pace on my own.
Yeah, so I've never raced with this kid before, but he came up and I was like, we'll get him on video. So I figured as long as he rides smart, I'm cool with him getting up there.
Yeah, actually I knew about this kid. He's been racing Cat 2 and I think winning the junior category or the U19 category. So I was tagged in one of his posts on Strava that Nelson and I would take care of him in the endurance field.
Yeah.
So I knew he was going to...
A lot of them right. We hit 27 on that downhill.
Yeah, super hard corner there for sure. This was nice later on in the course after multiple laps because it's pretty much the only rest in the whole course, and it's like a minute and a half or 2 minutes. It was definitely welcome.
Yeah, this is a good start for a race too, having like a fast downhill like this.
So
now I told you about this one.
Here we go. And this was it. Now everybody takes it.
Yeah.
Geoff gave
that
the heads up on that ahead of time. Yeah. I took it every lap.
Yeah, you should go over the gravel, but everybody cuts the corner.
I don't know about everybody. I told us that secret line, and now everybody knows that. I should have saved it for like the second lap when I was kind of off the front still. I could have at least gained it.
So here's where Stuart comes up kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah. Because I hadn't looked back yet, and I wasn't sure who was behind me or anything, but as soon as we were into Weymouth here, I was glad to see Stuart was on my wheel.
Yeah. And I was thinking, okay, great. Maybe it'll be the 4 of us. We'll motor away.
Yeah, so this is pretty famous section. Weymouth Wood. It's extremely difficult. I think we yell at this kid here for kind of coming up like that and kind of just cutting in, and maybe dropping the wheel and maybe just trying to get by. and we pretty much told him to, because I for sure did not want to get my line messed up, because this gets pretty technical.
Yep.
And I knew I had the lines like really dialed in, so I didn't want a younger guy to come in and maybe botch the line, and we'd have to stop and run or something.
So it was a kind of a mellow start. I mean, my heart rate's at 152. We've been climbing for a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't
well,
really
I mean,
max
we
out.
just had a 2-minute downhill.
Yeah,
A little bit of now this is where we should start to see things definitely. So I take a neat line there. I actually hop up the log and start going around. I don't know if it saves time, but it's better.
Yeah. So the trails were in really good shape this time around. I feel like they really cleaned it up, so it was really fast.
Yeah. Yeah, especially being first on the course. Like nothing was slicked or slimed up yet from all the tires. Everything was riding super well here. Just about to get into the heavy rocks, and see that line he took? Yeah, I did not want that in front of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you had a good line, Geoff, and I'm guessing he didn't pre-ride it because that's not the line.
Yeah. In this technical part, he starts to really gap you guys.
Yeah.
So.
This is like probably, not quite yet, just coming up here. Probably the most technical.
Yeah.
The steep climb with a lot of rocks at the very bottom. If you make one mistake at the bottom, you are off your bike and you're running for a whole pile. Yep. Good on you, Geoff.
Yeah, I just kind of let him flail a little bit, but he's not making huge gaps here, but towards the top, he's starting to get gassed. So
yeah. Plus, then that leads into a pretty good descent. One more small climb and then more descent. So all technical. But yeah, I was very happy. I didn't want to be in the lead and put a foot down. So I was pretty happy to keep that going. Actually, later on in the race, I made it a goal to complete this whole section of woods without putting a foot down, and I ended up with 7. The very last lap, 8th lap, I didn't figure that time because it was so slicked up by then, like it was ice.
Yeah.
All that.
Yeah, there were a couple of spots that just got worse and worse throughout the day.
Yeah, I was definitely happy with 7 of 8 clearing this section. One mini climb here, and then we come into some pretty fun descending. Nice little flowy, back and forth, kind of just turn your bike. Geoff, is there anybody behind you at this point, or did we start to create gaps?
No, I think we'd already created a gap by this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's really 4 major climbs in the course. This is the first one.
Yep.
We'll point out the other ones. But
and I count that last little escalator as like short enough to not really be considered too great.
Yeah, there's a lot of elevation actually. So Geoff, you did 6,500, and Ryan, you did 7,600.
Yeah, 7,600 feet in 49 and some change miles.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of climbing. In coming into this, I was actually looking forward to this direction because it's more single track climbing and less field climbing. Then meaning, at the same time, that also means basically field descent and less single track. So I was that's probably actually where I gain more time, maybe on the track.
Yeah, I prefer the course this direction. I didn't think I would, but I really did this time. I feel like it flows better.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
I do like single track climbing, versus just the open field.
Right.
Yeah, so the kid did a good job of like bridging back up. So here's Stu right ahead of him,
Yeah,
and I think
exactly. So around one of those corners just prior, Stu's like, okay, he just was basically let Nelson get by. He didn't really put up much of a fight, but good for Nelson.
It's actually nice to see in the Stuart, Nelson, yourself in the distance on that technical in between the rocks piece just now.
Yeah, that one's another one. It's like you kind of put those two together, those two sections. Like if you can clean them, one versus the other. And that one I cleaned 7 of 8 times too.
I wanted to pass Stuart so badly here, but I was like, I told him I was going to ride with him, so I'm like, don't pass Stuart.
very, very loose rocks here.
Yeah.
So my goal was to like take these, this kind of like flat. I mean, there's small up and downs, but these are like fast, flowy trails where you can just rip.
Yeah.
So my goal was to just kind of hit these real hard and just try to really use the single track to go as fast as I can. Maybe get a little bit of a gap.
Yeah. You can see, I mean, we're just kind of cruising here at like 100 and 130, 120 watts. Later on, I start to really rip this section, and I start telling Stu, I'm like, no brakes in this section. Let's just motor.
Right. Yep. I feel like he's maybe learning the course still right now, and you could tell he's pretty upright and just having some fun.
Yeah, super high cadence.
But
I was. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say all these open sections right here. I would be like, let's attack. I mean, we're still kind of cruising here. Like, we need...
Oh, you totally should have passed, did you? Oh, no.
I know, no. But you can hear me buzz his tire because he's like slows up here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
See right there.
Yeah, I was going pretty hard, but I was suffering for sure. I was still trying to learn, how to really do endurance, but all season long. So pretty much every race was new. Would try to prevent me from cramping or power. So what I did in this race was have almost no caffeine because I had a few of these races. So I was going to try to cut the caffeine out. Only had probably 50 to 80 milligrams in my warm-up bottle, and then none for the whole rest of the race. And so I was actually suffering pretty bad in this first intense effort, which I don't normally feel because I didn't have that normal boost you're picking up from any caffeine.
Right. You were also recovering from antibiotics, right?
Yeah. So, which was kind of the goal of this race, was just to get a big effort in and, just see where, I was. I knew I had raced in over a month, and I just hadn't time on the bike in quite a few days. Just got back from vacation, and so I was really putting in a lot of time on the bike to kind of make up for lost time.
Right.
It ended up having, I think, one of my biggest TSS weeks I've on for 1,000 TSS this week during this race.
Wow.
My legs did not feel good, and I suffered a lot this morning.
Yeah.
And the other thing was Nelson was actually peaking for Shenandoah 100, which was canceled.
Right.
So that's why he's here, because the Shenandoah had been canceled just a couple of days prior. So he was targeting that race as one of his probably key races a year, and so he was just on fire. He tracked me down on lap 5, and I didn't have anything for him. He had a really good race. And
Nice.
to put that in perspective, when we raced here earlier this year, I think I beat him by about 10.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so if you see, this is really the start of the second climb. We're at 6% here, and we'll pop out, and then we go over some railroad tracks that gets real steep.
Cool.
And then you start the single track technical climb after that.
Yeah. So it's kind of like almost 2 climbs put together, right? Like this bottom part, you go over the railroad track, and then you really start even more. So I'm curious to see what you guys do here. Your heart rate on 62 already just going into this.
Yeah, I didn't figure out the line on this until the second lap. I rode it every other lap, but not this lap because I messed it up. And then here comes Mike Dotsey. So he's riding it.
Wow.
And I was,
Watch out, Stu.
I was like, Stuart, get out of the way.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he
So
must
Dotsey
have
was
raged up a little bit. Yeah. It's impressive.
Yeah.
So I've raced this direction, I think, one other time. I didn't even attempt to ride that any lap.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I cyclocrossed that railroad track section every single time.
Yes.
I just kicked my foot around, just got off my bike and just, picked up it as quick as I could.
Yeah, I was talking to Festival today.
Yeah.
He said they all did the same thing. They all just ran it.
Yeah.
But I rode it every lap after this. And Stuart ran it a few times, and then I have to wait for him at the top. So I think riding it was faster, but you do burn matches.
Yeah, and I think that was my goal. I knew there was like a pretty firm climb after that, and I could usually hit that a little harder if I just not burn that mat.
Yeah, but there are basically 3 ways, right? You either ride it, you do the cyclocross ride where you get onto one pedal and then step, jump over it, jump on your saddle, or brake, get off your bike, go over it, get on your bike, right?
Yeah. So the worst thing is trying to ride it, not making it, then having to get off your bike 0 miles per hour, and then get going again. So if you know you can make it, you can definitely burn that match. But I thought for me, it was better to not burn the match and to just, while I have some momentum, keep my feet moving and get up. This is a pretty tough climb here. It's all super loose rock, and it just goes on and on. A couple turns in it too, so you have to just finesse the corner and your gear and your pedal stroke just to get up it without slipping your rear, anything like that. So that was actually a pretty tough climb. So here's one of the field descents. Get all that water coming up still.
Yeah.
It's like 8 a.m. So everything was still very wet. Even just pre-riding, that was pretty cool to see. Even just pre-riding, your bike is full of grass clippings.
Right.
Yeah. So on that first little dip, my bag with all my nutrition opened up and all my gels flew out.
Oh.
Yeah. You hear my brakes, they're all wet.
Yep.
But,
yeah, this is tight and steep. So I was I know I clipped a few trees coming through here on my bar ends and everything. It was fun though.
Yeah. I was like, we got to tighten this up with Dotsey. We got to get closer.
100%. Yeah, that's your competition right there. You don't let him get anywhere. And this
No.
is, yeah, just kind of a power section, a couple of flowy turns, but yeah, you end up, you know, taking lap 2 a little bit faster because you know what you can really just, you know, push the pace on, where you know you can enter these blind sections without even touching your brakes. They're the easier railroad track.
Yeah.
Sharp turn, yep. Oh, so I was the first one to come through this field section, and right around one of the corners, there was a pack of deer that just like hopped across the course, and I'm like, please don't be another one, please don't be another one. And I just kind of rode through as a couple that jumped across ahead of me. And yeah, if they were in like any bigger pack, I was just thinking right here, I would have got decked right at that crossing right there.
Yeah.
Thought about that every lap.
So in later laps, like I right now I'm doing like 250, 280, something like that. Later on, I was like just holding 400 watts through here, just because this you could make up so much time in these little
total
sections.
Power section right here.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's what I kind of try to do, is break down the courses on, you know, like where power sections are, where you can just, you know, maybe not lose time on some of the steeper climbs and stuff, but then rip single track. Yeah, I always try to break down these courses.
Yeah.
Figure out the most efficient way to actually race them.
Here's the tunnel of love.
Yeah.
By the end of the race, this is just a mud pit right at the end of it.
Yep. This is all slick, greasy roots.
He made good use of his dropper pose, by the way. You see that?
He did, yeah, he does.
So this is the third climb.
This is the third climb, yeah.
I would say this is the hardest.
Oh, you think?
I don't know. They're all hard. Well, the second one, this one is just like wide open at the start, and then you get into the single track and you're still climbing. It's like that, the second part of the climb when you think you're done, but you're still going. Just kind of like hurts mentally.
Yeah, so we're at 12% here. 13.
Yeah, and then this part, just, and then this is 8 a.m., so it's wet. Like, you gotta use your grade. 15%.
Yeah, it was probably steeper than that. It just didn't record it quick enough.
Yep.
So right here, I'm kind of looking behind, like, Stu, are you on my wheel? Because I'm like ready to go, you know. And then yeah, you get to hear Stu is talking to Dotsy all the time. I'm like, we need to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can see we're still climbing, you know.
Yeah. The good part about the first 2 laps is we didn't have any traffic. Because everybody did, but there was just a lot of traffic throughout the whole rest of the day after these first 2 laps.
Mm-hmm.
And I came around right as the Cat 1 1939 had gone off. I think I came around at 9:03. So they had like a minute head start on me. And so I ended up making it a goal of mine to pick my way through that whole group, even though it was my 3rd lap, 4th lap, 5th lap, to their 1st, 2nd, 3rd. And I did end up catching all of them but the winner.
Nice. Yeah, I think my 4th lap was my fastest.
Corner sneaks up on you.
Without, he's a technical rider. He should be putting a foot out there.
So here comes Stu. So I'm like, cool, let's go.
You're a good friend.
Yeah.
Because I know we talked ahead of time, you know, what we wanted to do with this race, and you know, it would have been really cool to ride together and stuff. And you know, with Nelson being there, it's too much competition to really, you know, control my effort. I wanted to, get a really good training prep in too, and learn stuff as well. Tried less caffeine. Maybe a little less carbohydrate, not cramp and stuff. This actually was the first race all season that I didn't cramp, but I also couldn't push hard enough.
Right.
Probably forced myself to cramp too.
Yeah.
How many carbs per hour do you usually take in your bottles?
So, did the math. I planned for one bottle per lap, which was only maybe 60 grams of carbohydrates in the bottle, but then I also had gummies to eat.
Right.
So that was going to supplement the other 30 grams of carbohydrate. So I had maybe planned for about 1,700 calories for the race, about 90 grams per hour, but I ended up not drinking all of my bottle mix. So there was 2 laps where I just held on to it for another lap.
Right.
So I ended up with less than the carbs that I wanted. But at the same time, I didn't have any GI distress or anything either. So I'm still burning every race.
Because the cramps you're talking about is GI cramps. It's not your quads or your calves or anything.
No. Well, I think my stomach requires so much, training or it demands all the energy go to your stomach. So my quads, usually my adductors, the ones that cramp.
Right.
Adductors, inside, near top. Those are usually the first things. This is the 4th climb. It's like a slow false flat grinder, and then into a single track grinder.
Yep.
And then a steep kick, and then field climb. It's a pretty long climb.
Tip of it. Most sensitive part.
I don't think I would be talking as much as you guys were.
Yeah.
So I think it was the fifth lap where this right at the top of the single track, right when Nelson the bridge, and it's the total power. And I was just like, all right, let's go. And then I was like, see you later.
Yeah.
This is super steep right here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ramps up it. And then power climb.
Yeah, and then again, like later on in subsequent laps, we were just crushing this part, but we're still kind of all together at this point.
I think more. 5, yeah. Stanky.
I think my breaking point was Stuart starts eating his banana. I'm like, okay, I gotta come around.
This is too casual.
It is too casual.
Next time we will do the GoPro on your seat.
Yeah, going backwards.
Go backwards.
Yeah.
I could always range it maybe. Have one over here. Yeah, strategy I think was, for me, what's worked best is, get away, and then just, I think Ron does the same tactic, and it works really good. I've won quite a few races that wire to wire, get away, and then survive. So I think the one race where I decided to do tempo and just threshold tempo was the Challenger race. We just had, dead on lap times.
Yep.
And it was just ended up being a tactical battle at the end. The tactics ended up, being the case instead of anything else. I think I prefer the go as hard as I can, race to XP, and then just hang on. But it was a lot more fun doing the just the tempo is a lot easier, a lot less stress. I love that turn. Stuart and I pre-rode that, and I was like, just berm it, you know, just like we're just rail it, lean into it. And then I thought about it every single time.
BMX style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so at some point I burped my rear tire, and I'm telling Stu, and of course, in my getting ready, I forgot to bring my CO2 with me. So I actually go back to my car. And I'm like, well, now I can get gels. So I get some gels, and I pump up my tire. And man, what a huge difference that makes, you know?
Yeah, do you know what lap you burped it on?
I think it was on the 3rd lap, and I think I started my 5th lap is when I pumped it up.
You normally run a little higher pressure than
I do. I usually do 20 front and rear. But when I finally did go to the car, I put it in like 25 because I didn't want to have to mess with it.
Yeah. Is it easier to burp with higher pressure?
I don't think so. I don't know. Yeah.
I'm not sure on that one because I was running 14 psi front and rear.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I knew the day was going to get hotter, and I would gain a few psi as the temps rose.
Yeah.
But I think I remember like feeling my tire after the race. I didn't check the tire pressure, but it definitely felt firm. A lot more firm than when I started. I had some pretty wide tires on 2 point. No inserts.
Oh, really? Okay.
Some of the most of the other races I ran inserts and just bombed through it. This race, I had a different wheel set without inserts. That's like the 0.5 climb. Yep. It's a quick climb, but it's steep. It's over really quick, and it's right at the end of the lap. So it's a great point to with them. You know, after 4 hours to get away. I think I set PR on that on my 8th lap, actually.
Nice.
I made a point where I was like, all right, I haven't cramped yet, so just to give it everything you got. And, ended up with a PR on that climb.
Yeah, there's something about like at the end of the race, you've thrown all your bottles, you don't have any stuff in your pockets, and you feel lighter, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this was kind of the cool part. We had a big help, I did, from Pam, my girlfriend. We decided to either hand out an ice stock or pickle juice at the end of each lap. So she had just handed me, I don't remember what I took on the first lap. It was either an ice stock to cool or pickle juice. I think I started with pickle juice because it wasn't quite hot enough yet. Every lap we had a hand. And then at the feed zone here, I had some bottles on the left. So I didn't rely on her for nutrition, but more so on cooling and electrolytes.
Nice. Yeah, that was a big help having Pam there.
Yeah, she's been it takes a team. I mean, honestly, these races are hard. They're long. You can't just, have everything set up ahead of time. You need help, and it really matters.
You can hear Stu back there. He was just like, I thought you were riding with me. I was like, come on up here. So I'm trying to just get him to ride faster.
This is a climb and you're doing 170 watts. Okay,
I know. I'm like,
you're waiting for him, clearly.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that video ends up here because we just cut it short. But thanks for joining, Ryan. This was great to hear all your commentary on it. You've had a fantastic season.
Yeah, congratulations. Yeah,
thanks. Yeah, you too, Geoff. I mean, it was kind of cool to have, the men's overall and the, 45 plus overall as well. But, that kind of helped us get the second place for the team competition too.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of learning this year for sure, and I mean, we started back in March, so it's been a long season, but yeah,
Absolutely, for sure.
yeah,
And
cyclocross now?
yeah, I think I have a big enough base to start doing some intense efforts.
Right.
Like this last week, I went for like a ton of KOMs and stuff, and just really try to build some TSS and sharpen the axe a little bit.
Right.
So I feel like I've got some intensity in me right now. There's a lot more to come, but yeah. So that'll be after a short break. Do some cyclocross for sure.
You gonna try Marathon Nationals?
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a long ways away. So that's, it's what, at least 6 weeks now. So
Yeah.
If I gotta pretty much decide right now if I want to do a marathon or
Yeah.
do cycle.
Exactly. Switch gears. Yeah.
They're totally different.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Originally, that was the goal, was to just do all these endurance and then go to Marathon Nationals, but now it's like an extra 2 months of training for one race, so it's tough to wrap your head around and stay motivated for.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, and cyclocross is pretty fun, and I run practices on Wednesdays and stuff, so
yeah, exactly.
We'll be starting those up this week, which is a little late. I feel a little bad, but just mountain bike season just ended, so
yeah.
Very cool.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Sure.
Well, thanks for your time.
Thanks so
right?
much.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, no, it was good. Hopefully it came across as a good episode. I don't know, so we'll see.
Yeah, I'll have it ready in the next 2 days probably.
Yeah.
Cool.
Next time I'll be on your wheel. Stuart.
Yeah, I was like,
figure it out on your own.
I know you could be there because I was suffering. Like I just felt a little flat, so I know for sure you could have been there, 100%.
Yeah. It's all right.
But you're
trying to be a good friend, So
yes, agree. Well,
all right.